You know, there's never a wrong time to start thinking about retirement. This morning, Money Coach Bill Stanley is here in studio with advice on how to start taking action, saving, and other creative ways to make a little go a long way. Good morning to you, Bill.
Good morning.
All right, the buzzword this morning around here is spousal salary. So
Yes.
tell us what this is and why should couples start thinking about this?
Well, the point of this is to get people to do retirement planning and putting money aside for retirement. And if you have a non-working or a non-salaried spouse, you know, where is she or he going to get the money?
Sure.
You can discuss this with your spouse about, well, give me a salary for this. That'll start an interesting discussion.
Sure.
But the non-salaried spouse can say, look, here is a article that says that how much is a housewife worth? It's over $125,000 a year. So what the housewife has to do, or the house husband has to do, is come up with a way to get the cash. Now, IRA, individual retirement account, and yes, the non-working spouse can get an IRA.
Okay.
As the 2014 limits are $5,500 for what's called a spousal IRA,
Okay.
or $6,500 if they're over 50, as long as the working spouse makes enough money to cover both.
Sure.
So my idea is where you're going to come up with the money. Well, maybe the budgeting, you can look at savings money in the budget. Maybe the working spouse buys a Starbucks on the way to work and buys lunch at work. Well, if the non-working spouse can give the money or give the coffee and make the lunch, they'll save you know, $15 a day or $300 a month or $3,600 a year kind of thing. Grocery shopping, work with a list, get rid of the sugary drinks, get rid of the pre-processed food. Maybe there's another $100 a month. If you've got teenagers, you might have some wannabe fashion icons.
Okay.
And you ought to put a limit,
Sure.
an allowance on them. Or better yet, have the teenager get a job so he or she can be the fashion icon.
So you're saying take that money you would spend otherwise and put that money away.
Exactly. But the question is, how are they going to get the savings into cash? Well,
Okay.
they can ask for the money they've saved on the budget in cash. And I believe that each spouse should have access to some money where they can spend things without the other spouse having to approve it.
Okay.
Well, they can ask for that amount to be doubled. Some spouses split the chores. Well, the non-working spouse can offer to do the other spouse's chores for cash. My grandmother was a non-salaried worker, but she, on a farm, she raised 13 kids, so
Wow.
she did a lot of work. Her cash access was the egg money. When the family's needs were met, she could keep or sell the eggs
Sure.
and keep the money. Now that's still possible, even today here in Colorado Springs, because I did an article for the Gazette's Fresh Ink last year on the chicken coop tour. You can keep in Colorado Springs City up to 10 birds, chickens and or ducks.
Okay.
No roosters over 6 months old.
Okay.
So you could do that, but I think that the new egg money might be Craigslist or eBay or the consignment shop.
But when you get this extra money, it all comes down to responsibility as well.
Exactly.
You have to be responsible with it, and remember the whole idea is to save.
Exactly. And you put the savings into the IRA.
Right.
And if you do this from age 20 to age 60, $5,500 a year at 5% interest, you're talking over $600,000.
Yeah, you might not think it's something at the time, every little bit you put away, but it compounds, and that keeps adding up over the years.
And if the non-working spouse sets a good example by setting up an IRA, that might make the working spouse put more money in it, and you got a win-win situation.
I love it. Spousal salary, $125,000 a year. That's what Bill's saying.
To be negotiated.
What's the website, Bill?
moneycoachbill.org.
Okay, good stuff right there. Log on and check it out. Some great information as always. Again, there's never a wrong time to start thinking about retirement.
That's right.
Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and toss it right now to weather. Mark, to get your latest forecast. Mark, good morning.